Hey guys, how you doing? This is Caleb, and oh boy, have I got a good one for you today. One that I've wanted to do for quite some time, and I figure with such recent disasters as one of the episodes of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur being pulled allegedly for transphobic reasons, the fact that almost every streaming service nowadays is removing content every month for stupid reasons in some cases, and the launch of the PlayStation 5 Pro where Sony is now expecting its customers to buy a console that's over $700 and is all digital only, and then spend an extra $100 on a separate disc drive for it. Seriously, Sony, why would you do that? I think it's time we talk about the importance of having physical media in the home. The first reason that I can think of as to why I usually prefer physical media over streaming is that with today's physical video formats, they have a better picture quality than many of the major video streaming platforms. With many streaming services, the video quality tries to buffer while playing movies and TV shows over the internet, resulting in subpar picture quality at times when streaming in HD or 4K, even when you download to a mobile device. But with physical media, the picture quality is consistent depending on what format you watch it on. DVDs go up to 480p or 480i, Blu-rays go up to 1080p, and Ultra HD Blu-rays go up to 4K, and they all play back in a 100% consistent image quality. Not only that, but if you have a superior disc player like a Blu-ray player, it'll upscale DVDs to a fraction of the typical Blu-ray resolution, and with Ultra HD Blu-ray players, it upscales DVDs and Blu-rays to a fraction of the 4K resolution. So that's one big reason physical media matters. It's the fact that all physical formats have consistent picture quality throughout. Then comes the second reason, which is that unlike with streaming, you can own all your media for generations to come. At this point, while many major Hollywood studios are still releasing their films and TV shows on physical media, mostly with the help of studio distribution services and Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, and sometimes Shout Factory and the Criterion Collection, those studios are also expecting their customers to stream all of their content on a platform that you have to pay money for every month as the prices go up every year. And the same goes for most of the original content that those platforms offer. And we all know how that turned out when Disney decided to not only cancel Haley's On It after only one season, but also erase it entirely from Disney+. Nowadays, the only way you can watch the show at any time legally is through digital purchases from online stores like iTunes/Apple TV. Like, what happened to the good old days where you could proudly get your hands on a physical movie or TV show? What happened to all those joyous Christmas mornings where you would open a gift under the tree and upon ripping off all that wrapping paper, you would be greeted with a DVD copy of Finding Nemo as you're holding it in your hands? It made you feel invincible. It made you feel like an almighty being. It made you feel like you could do anything you ever wanted. Everything was awesome back then. It's one of our all-time favorite things to do as media consumers, having all of our movies, TV shows, music, and video games well organized on our shelves so that everyone can see it all, proudly showing off all those physical collections one by one. It's like having a massive pirate's treasure in your bedroom or living room. Just look at this massive home video collection. It really makes you feel proud to show it to people on the internet or who are visiting in person. Well, guess what? Nowadays, most physical media around the world is nearly on the brink of becoming obsolete in retail stores, with Disney phasing out physical home video in places like Australia, and Sony not including a disc drive with the PS5 Pro while making you pay extra for one on top of the $700 console. Because now almost every major corporation has their own video streaming service. Disney has Disney Plus, Amazon has Amazon Prime Video, Paramount has Paramount Plus, Apple has Apple TV, Universal has Peacock, even Warner Brothers has Max, or HBO Max as I still like to call it. As for digital downloads, I know there are cloud-based services where you can carry your digital media purchases from one device to another, even when you decide to hide or unhide something in the cloud, like what Apple has done with iTunes and iCloud. But the question is, what if something happens where we can't re-download our digital movies, TV shows, music, or video games anymore? If everything in this world is a digital-only thing, then every part of the entertainment industry is running on a sinking ship. However long it takes, that ship will eventually sink. And not only that, where else am I going to store all that digital media other than a hard drive to plug into my TV or my PlayStation 3 for movies and TV shows, or a newer console for video games? I usually don't like to have it stored directly on my computer, so thankfully, I have 3 hard drives. One to store most of my computer files, which is 1 terabyte. One to store all of my digital movies and TV shows, which is 2 terabytes. And one specifically to back up my computer, which is also 2 terabytes. And when it comes to music, I also have an iPod Classic from 2005 and an old 2020 iPhone SE that I repurposed into an iPod Touch once I got the iPhone 14 Pro as my personal phone for a couple years, since I have a massive library of digital music on my computer, whether it's imported from CDs, digitized from vinyls, or downloaded as digital audio files over the internet. I have no intentions on getting rid of it anytime soon. There is no way I am planning to get rid of any of my digital music on my iPod or any of my physical media on my shelves as long as I live. What happened these days? There was a time when the home entertainment industry had their head in the game. There was a time when they were on top of the world. They were the new way for people to enjoy their favorite movies in a world where you could only see them in theaters as they would get reissued, or wait for them to air on TV back in the 70s. So if you're watching this and you don't want physical media to become obsolete, then I highly encourage you to save some money and keep collecting Blu-rays, DVDs, vinyls, CDs, video game discs, and other kinds of physical formats. And if you don't have a physical media collection already and are interested, my best recommendation is to start one now, as well as get a device capable of playing one or more of those specific formats. The best way to do it is through thrift stores, since they have incredibly good deals on any used items that get donated there. They're also some of the only stores out there nowadays where you can get some of the discontinued physical formats like VHS, audio cassette, or 8-track. And then there's one of the most infamous examples of why physical media matters more than ever now, the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery removed all the classic Looney Tunes cartoons so that they'll no longer be available to stream on Max, which was previously known as HBO Max. Where do I begin with David Zaslav? Words cannot describe how badly I wanted to punch this hole in the face for the many L's that Warner Brothers has been taking recently, such as merging with Discovery, removing a bunch of content from HBO Max, canceling several projects that could have been good, the way they chose to disrespect Christopher Reeve by resurrecting his interpretation of Superman through AI in that god-awful Flash movie with criminal Ezra Miller, greenlighting that Velma series for 2 seasons when that first season was already hopeless to begin with, and Ketchup Entertainment's horrible publicity for The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, after they rightfully saved it from the Zaslav chopping block. In all seriousness, please go check out The Day the Earth Blew Up in theaters while you can if you want both the Looney Tunes and theatrical 2D hand-drawn animation to make a comeback. I implore you. Honestly, the way Warner Brothers Discovery has been treating the Looney Tunes is easily the biggest offender of all those botch-ups. Because with how profitable the Looney Tunes franchise has been since its introduction, the Toons are the reason Warner Brothers became one of the biggest entertainment companies next to Disney and Universal. And to treat them dirty like this is nothing short of a middle finger to animation and cartoons. It's also disheartening to see what they did to Coyote vs. Acme, since that movie was actually on the cusp of turning out good from what I've heard from some people, from some of the people who worked on it, and they deliberately screwed it up by putting it in jeopardy of being cancelled. But with them having finally sold the distribution rights to Ketchup Entertainment like they did with The Day the Earth Blew Up, it only gives me more hope for the Toons. But that's nothing compared to their recent removal of the Looney Tunes shorts from Max. The original Looney Tunes are some of the greatest cartoons of all time, cementing themselves in slapstick comedy and pop culture among the leagues of Mickey Mouse, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Homer Simpson. And you've ruined their legacy. You're actively trying to wipe the Looney Tunes out of existence while we get garbage like Cocomelon shoved down our throats. Good Christ, it's like David Zaslav hates the Looney Tunes for some reason. Oh wait, let me guess. Is it because you stupidly viewed the Looney Tunes as nothing more than kid stuff in the veins of Sesame Street, or Blue's Clues, or Bluey, or Dora the Explorer, all because it's a cartoon? You do realize that animation is a medium and not just the kids genre, right? You also realize that the Looney Tunes shorts were never really made for kids, right? Just like The Simpsons, the Looney Tunes were made for, and always will be made for, a general audience of mostly adults. They were played in theaters before a Warner Brothers movie began, and like the films they were attached to, the Looney Tunes cartoons were mainly intended to be adult shorts. It should be more than obvious enough with the amount of violence, smoking, drinking, gambling, cultural and political references, and sexual innuendos, which either are unsuitable for children or just might fly over their heads when watching. And you know what? At this rate, say what you will about Space Jam: A New Legacy, but I'm starting to feel like that movie was actually a warning sign about the worst that was yet to come out of the business side of Warner Brothers, especially with their plans regarding the Looney Tunes. The villain Algae Rhythm might as well represent David Zaslav while I'm at it too. This is like if Disney tried to get rid of Mickey Mouse. This guy really deserves to be arrested if this is what he is willing to do to the WB. You know what? This is what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example of why we need to start prioritizing physical media, including DVDs, Blu-rays, game discs, game cartridges, CDs, vinyls, and more. Because if you're gonna make everything all digital, it'll only be dangerous to the economy as it puts a ton of content in jeopardy of suddenly becoming a bunch of lost media.
And how will that make people feel?
Angry?
No.
Sleepy?
No.
Oh, afraid?
Yes, afraid.
Get away from me!
If it's not available on physical media nor digital download, and it's only a matter of time before that streaming-only title is completely gone, then they're only leaving people no choice but to hoist the Jolly Roger and hit the high seas, if you know what I mean. And now look how expensive the Looney Tunes Golden Collection DVD box set is on Amazon. If I could really afford it at the moment as part of my current budget, then I'd be lucky. But no, now you can't access any of these classics unless you spend almost $100 or more on an entire collection. How is this pig still around? It should not be that difficult to fire a CEO that absolutely no one likes, that caused the entire company that these cartoons helped put on the map to lose millions, no, scratch that, billions of dollars. This is a CEO who has made some of the most moronic, brain-damaged, disgusting, and morally corrupt business decisions I've ever seen out of any of them. More than Bob Iger nowadays, more than Brian Robbins, more than Jeff Bezos. It is near the same level as Elon Musk. We're talking about the freaking douchebag that chose to approve of absolute garbage like Velma and gave us all those stupid tax write-offs. So on that note, Zaslav can take all these messed up decisions of his, along with the longest carrot that Bugs Bunny can dig, and shove them straight up his butt until the pointy end of that carrot impales that rotting grapefruit that he wants to refer to as his brain. Screw Zaslav, and screw his mistreatment of the Looney Tunes. That was a big rant right there. So yeah, my big takeaway from all this is that you can still use streaming services as long as you want, and I'm still going to be watching movies and shows on places like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Crunchyroll, and Disney Plus for as long as my family can afford it. But we also have to start prioritizing physical media more than ever this year and beyond, because nothing can take away the beauty and power of actually owning something in your hands for generations to come. And trying to undermine that by having something removed from a streaming service after a certain period of time is none other than a middle finger to entertainment and a detriment to the economy. But that's all I have to say. What are your thoughts on all this? Also, let me know down in the comments if you're still a physical media collector to this day like I am. And if you enjoyed this video, why not give this a like, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell. There will be more things on this channel that I can guarantee that you'll have a good time hearing about, like my passion for animation, the Dwampyverse, and my wacky sense of humor. Anyways, with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and have a splendid day. This is Caleb, over and out.